We want to make this wall a little nicer so that when we present things in videos, you're not looking at throw up.
Yeah, so that's something that we've been kind of sitting back and kind of looking at how we can go about increasing our production value, because ultimately we're doing this content for you guys. Yes, we are sharing experiences of what we're doing, but ultimately this is for your consumption. So we want to make sure that we are, you know, upping in every aspect we can on the side of production. So why don't you, kind sir, why don't you give them the rundown as to what the heck you've been doing here? Because he's been doing a lot of work. I've been inside doing some other stuff, but he's been the one spearheading this. So why don't you fill them in on what you've done so far and kind of where we're thinking of going with this?
So the wall was just riddled with last owner things, right? The last people that were in the house had made it theirs. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna goon it up a little bit, if you know what I mean. We're gonna personalize the wall, like Nico said, just because we want something to film against.
So mind you, this is also a kind of a reference point for y'all at home who want to kind of improve the overall look of the space without having to break the bank and spending thousands and thousands of dollars. Quite frankly, what we have in store for this is really going to come out to a minimalist approach, but I think it's going to be the greatest return on investment, at least from like how it looks on camera side of things and just overall improving the space. So I'll be dropping the whole itemized list of everything we did, and we'll be putting a summary at the end of the video, but I'm going to go back to him because I want to show you some of the other things that we got.
So this high heat automotive paint. Oh, I got the wrong stuff. No, this is actually interior exterior paint. We picked the color that we thought would be great. And you know, you're gonna find out along with us whether the choice was decent or not. But, so we got paint. This came out to, I think $33 a pail.
I think materials and everything. So we got, you know, we got the roller, we have the patching compound that Ryan has been working his butt off on, paintbrushes, all that stuff. Pretty much everything that we needed to do that wall came out to, I believe, what was it,
$77?
Somewhere in that ballpark.
$75.
So let's say worst case scenario is about $80. Now mind you, I do want to also note that this house did come with some pretty cool stuff. I mean, like you can see behind me, we've got all these cabinets, we've got that rack there. We are going to be dressing up that rack a little bit more. The paint's a little worn out and blah, 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 all that stuff. But I mean, you know, this is great stuff that we're working with. Okay, so, you know, we understand that we do have that little bit of an advantage. However, like I said before, don't let that discourage you. This is just kind of showing an example of how you can look at something, identify a problem, and then find the most cost-effective solution for it. For all you DIYers at home, I think y'all are gonna be really happy with the results. So let's get to work.
Well, it's never a dull moment. It is literally never a dull moment. Homie just straight up fell through. I am shaking. I thought I was gonna see him go.
Oh, God, the back of my leg, dude. That sucks.
Golly.
See the crap we do for content for y'all? Like,
Well, that wasn't for content.
yeah, the adrenaline is kind of hitting me now. Dude, I see them flexing. No. Yep.
This is definitely gonna come fast.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Bring it. I'm used to it.
You're used to coming fast?
Holy shit.
Just one of them. Just one.
Just one?
Just one. Ooh.
Holy shit. Look at that, man. This is just the second coat in. It's looking fantastic. The whole premise of this video is just to show you guys what you can do on a budget to really spruce up the space. And I think that between just spending some money on, basic painting supplies and then opting for this great affordable kit and lighting is really the great way to go. If you look slightly up, you can see that we wanted a lot of light here because this is where we're doing a lot of filming, but we still needed to distribute throughout the space. So for now, with just this one kit, we were able to create this cool kind of zigzag pattern to span the length, but this also allows us to expand in the future. So we do plan on ordering another kit here, and we will be installing just to help fill in the rest of the depth kind of where you guys are now, but then also pushing it out a little bit just so it really helps fill in the rest of the room. Normally I'm pretty on the fence about getting affordable stuff just because the quality tends to be questionable, but I've got to say genuinely, we would not be recommending this unless the quality really was as great as it is, and the installation was great. I mean, it was a really well thought out product. Obviously the price is what's most attractive because generally other kits out there for about the same amount of lighting, it's about triple the price, right, Ryan?
The price of this one,
it's like $250.
For this?
Yeah, for this kit.
Because I sent a few different links, and I think it was like mid, high, and high range.
If you look for any hex kits,
this is the best. This is the best that we could get without breaking the bank. Which is again, the whole thing. We're not trying to murder the bank when we do this. We're just trying to spruce it up with as, not as little money as possible, but also not as much money.
Well, I'll put it this way. For something like this against the garage, you're not using this as a display room to keep like an F40. You know what I mean? You're keeping this for a lot of, the home builders, the hot rodder guys, like in spirit at least, like guys who like doing the DIYs at home. You don't want to be spending all of your build money on your workspace. I mean, yeah, you want to spruce it up and make it look nice, but there's no need to spend boatloads of money to make the space look great and more attractive and, I should say, a more productive space. I think we should have just literally like what, 300, 350 bucks? I don't know, we'll probably calculate and put a little sound effect, bing, right here, with how much the total was, but.
Well, you can't say the bing because then it over. So do it again, but just bam.
For just around 350, 400 bucks, let's say, this whole garage got a nice makeover. So let's quit yapping. Let's get back to painting.
It is day 3. It is 11 o'clock at night, or darn near, and we are putting up more of the hex lights.
So we actually bought the other kit like we said we would. I figured in this video we might as well show you if, like in a range of budget, if you were to go with just as simple as possible, or if you wanted to go just a little bit more, let's call it economy plus. And show you guys kind of what the end result will look like. So it comes with 24 of these light bars and then these connector pieces like we see here. Like I said, 24, then you have a few of these Y attachment assortments here. So you got those guys. And what we decided to do to help with the MacGyvering of this, we just went to the local hardware store and we got some of these little screw eyes. I don't like the name of that. They really need to change that.
Screwies?
If you can see right there, we just drilled it into the joist and then plugged it up into this guy.
Yep. So that's kind of what's great is that this kit does come with these zip ties. They're quite generous in how many they give you. So we found the best ways for us, since we have, the exposed 2x4s here. We just took a small pilot drill that's a little bit smaller than the major diameter of the thread, and it just still leaves a little bit of material to bite, but that way we can just install it by hand. We're not sitting up there with our hands above our head on this stepping stool we have here, struggling to install a little, as they would call it, screw eye. So.
All right, let's get to it.
Yep.
Exactly 1 hour later. Well,
Really?
no, it's like 40 something minutes.
A little more than that, but finally, it's late. We got it done. This is super cool. So this is kind of what we had envisioned. Kind of a weird little tribute to, I guess, rockets and like spaceships from Star Wars, like a Y-wing fighter. Kind of wanted to do like 2 boosters and have like cockpit. That was like the general concept that we had. Deviated a little bit, but honestly, I'm so satisfied with how this came out. Triple hex there, double here, great distribution of light. This is legit. And the crazy thing about this kit too is that it's all powered off of one source. So we actually didn't even need to divvy it up, like I was more or less anticipating. It's all running off the same power source. It just goes to show like how efficient this system is going with LEDs versus those 2 strip lights that we had before. The best part about going with this method and using the zip ties too is that you can kind of flexibility, so you don't have to worry about like hard mounting and just driving a screw straight through. In this case, if the spacing is a little bit off, you can get creative and use these, these little eye screws here, and then just kind of adjust based off distance, use the zip ties to your advantage, and kind of adjust the overall height. You can play with everything so it lines up well. Kind of a recommendation from just kind of like after the fact, a hindsight, kind of what we could have done better is when you're first putting the zip ties on and you're not fully done with the setup, don't tighten them all the way. Leave a little bit of slack in there, so if you want to level it out and whatnot, you can do it versus having to go back, cut the zip tie, and then put another one on. So all in all, what do you think, man?
I just can't wait to see what the cars look like
In here?
with like the reflection of the hexes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because it's not a typical pattern.
No, this isn't.
It's not a super typical pattern. There's the triangular hexes. There's spots of triangular hexes, or it's like all hexes.
Yeah.
Right? There's not like a row of hexes here and then a row of hexes there. Right? So it'll kind of be pretty cool to see how it bounces off of the cars. It gives so much light. Like, we're professional now.